This is the first video about Limestone Cowboy, an Evans Hot Pot 7.5 metre trailer sailor that a friend and I bought at auction as a insurance write-off, with a view to getting it back to sailing condition and out on the water. After collecting Limestone Cowboy at the auction yard, we towed it through to West Haven Marina, where we were working on a larger 10 metre keeler that we own, getting that out of the water for transport. At the time, we then discovered that one of the axles in the trailer was broken through, with one of the rear wheels on the trailer effectively floating in free space. On this discovery, we realised we had to tow it to a boat yard 30 odd kilometres away via every back road and 50 kilometre zone we possibly could to get it there safely and discreetly. My comment at the time was that after years of riding motorbikes and sailing boats for excitement, I realised actually I'd been wasting my time, because the most exciting thing to do was to tow a broken trailer with a very large boat on it. I'm pretty sure I was considerably greyer within the hour and a half or so of the trip than I had been at the beginning of it. Looks like number 1 Genoa maybe. VHF radio, don't know if it works. Main looks good except for the bird turd. This is the winch that failed. You can see the rope here. Turns out the rudder is going to need replacing. That blade is rotten. And just looking up front, there's been some repairs throughout the boat. Forepeak. It is what it is. Really, there's not much going on up there. So it looks like the sail wardrobe is the number 1. Maybe there's something else under there, I don't know. That does not look as fresh as the main. I could have the sails back to front. After leaving Limestone Cowboy in a trucking yard on the north shore of Auckland for a couple of weeks, we planned to return with a vehicle trailer to put the boat trailer and boat onto. This turned into a 30.5-hour marathon between Featherston and Auckland, including backyard rewiring of trailer, 2 hours auto electrician, and a incident with the trailer on the way north, and included also an hour and a half stuck in roadworks on the way up via Taihape. My wife and I then spent 3.5 hours in the middle of the night loading the boat and trailer onto the transporter trailer, as we had to get it loaded that evening. This would have been probably a case for divorce proceedings to ensue if it weren't for the fact that I'd driven north primarily for the purpose of taking my wife to the Pink concert. Getting the boat on the trailer involved 2 come-alongs, several ratchet tie-downs, quite a lot of persuasion and leverage, and not a little bit of swearing. We then picked up the boat on Sunday morning after the Pink concert, did a bit more loading, and then it took us another 11.5 hours to get home again with the boat on the trailer, arriving home at about 11:30 at night. The next day we took it round to where she's going to live, and we, using a vehicle hoist, a forklift, and again some more persuasion, we got the boat trailer off the transporter trailer so that we could take the transporter trailer back to its owner. The next weekend it was time to test out the sail wardrobe, which surprisingly, given their histories, all fitted reasonably well, and looked like there'll be a reasonably good set of sails for us to meander around in the boat. She won't be a race boat again, but she'll certainly sail okay. We also found on the boat that there'd been a very significant number of modifications, tweaks, second-hand parts and adaptions, but most importantly, with a few exceptions, everything should work nicely on the boat. We may need to replace the mast foot and a couple of the mainstays, aiming to replace those with Dyneema, but overall the parts on the boat should do the trick nicely. Then it was on to the next project of getting the boat off the trailer and onto blocks so that we can work on the boat and repair the trailer. We also found out during this process exactly how much the boat weighed, which is very slightly more than the digger could actually hold up. As a result of this, we took to lifting the boat one end at a time and putting it on blocks. And after a little bit of faffing around, we actually decided that it was easier to do this manually with jacks once she was on the blocks.